Welcome back to part 2 of our repositioning cruise back to America. In our last video, we explored the historic Southampton cruise port and showed you around the magnificent Norwegian Bliss. Now it's time for the next leg of our adventure. We'll be visiting 3 European ports in 4 days.
We'll start in France, where we'll visit the D-Day beaches of Normandy, site of the liberation of Europe during World War II. Then we'll cross the Bay of Biscay to Vigo, Spain, a coastal gem with rich culture and breathtaking views. Our final stop before crossing the Atlantic is the vibrant city of Lisbon, the picturesque and charming capital of Portugal.
We're Tanya and Martin, and we've been traveling the world, going to all the places that we've always dreamed of visiting.
We've still got plenty of places to go, so please join us as we plan our travels and continue our journey around the world. Our first European port of call was Le Havre, France. Le Havre is a dock port, so there's not much to explore just by walking off the ship. Most passengers typically choose to take a guided tour to the D-Day beaches, the charming town of Honfleur, or even go all the way to Paris for the day.
So this is day 2 of our repositioning cruise back to America. We just arrived in Le Havre, France, and we are going to get off the ship, see if we can catch a ride to Normandy. We teamed up with another couple and paid a taxi driver to drive us around for the day. It worked out to be 125 euros per person, which was much cheaper than the D-Day beach tours from the ship.
It took about 2.5 hours to drive the 100 miles to our first stop at Pointe du Hoc. Pointe du Hoc is a towering cliff on the coast of Normandy, France, located between the beaches of Omaha and Utah. It played a significant role during World War II and is one of the most well-known sites of the D-Day landings on June 6, 1944.
When you get to the cliff edge, you see what a commanding view the Germans had of the coastline. They must have felt pretty secure in these bunkers. We went inside the reinforced concrete bunkers that housed the artillery, observation posts, and machine gun nests. These structures were interconnected with trenches and underground tunnels, allowing the German soldiers to move between positions without being exposed to enemy fire. Looking at the cliff from the vantage point of the German gunners, it would seem almost impossible that the U.S. Marines would be able to capture this position.
Before the D-Day invasion, the Allies bombed this area to try and weaken the German defences. They did not manage to take out the bunkers and machine guns, despite all of the massive bomb holes that you see all around the cliff top. The massive bomb craters are still here. They are all fenced off to prevent anyone from accidentally falling in. The Germans had installed 6 large artillery guns at Pointe du Hoc, capable of firing shells over 16 miles, which could easily target the landing beaches of Omaha and Utah. It was vital that this position be taken out first. On D-Day, 2 US Army Ranger battalions were tasked with scaling the 100-foot cliffs using ropes, ladders, and grappling hooks to capture and destroy the German artillery.
Out of the 225 Rangers who landed and began the treacherous climb up the 100-foot cliffs under relentless German fire, only about 90 were still capable of fighting by the end of the day. The others were either killed, wounded, or missing in action.
Despite the devastating losses, the Rangers successfully completed their mission, locating and destroying the nearby artillery guns that had been moved inland.
Their bravery was instrumental in reducing German firepower and giving the Allied troops a fighting chance on the beaches below. To see what happened there, we're heading to Omaha Beach next.
Our driver took us from Pointe du Hoc to Omaha Beach. The drive took about 30 minutes. Omaha Beach was one of the 5 landing sites for the Allied invasion of Normandy. It was the code name for the beach assigned to the American forces, and became the site of one of the most intense and deadly battles of the invasion.
This is Omaha Beach. It stretches for about 5 miles along the Normandy coast. It's bordered by steep cliffs, which were heavily fortified by the Germans. You can easily imagine why the Allies suffered such heavy losses while trying to take this beachhead.
The US 1st Inventory Division and the 29th Inventory Division were tasked with securing Omaha Beach. Their objective was to establish a beachhead and link up with the British at Gold Beach to the east. At dawn on June 6th, thousands of American troops approached the beach under heavy enemy fire. The rough seas and strong currents caused many landing craft to drift off course, leaving soldiers exposed and separated from their units. As the first wave of troops came ashore, they were met with relentless machine gun fire, mortar shells and artillery. Many were killed before they could even make it out of the water.
We looked down the beach and then up at the cliffs, and we could see how exposed the troops were as they came ashore, and how terrified they must have been.
By the end of the day, through sheer determination and courage, the US forces had gained a foothold at Omaha Beach. This monument was built to commemorate the approximately 34,000 American troops that landed there on D-Day.
From Omaha Beach, we took a short drive over to the Normandy American Cemetery to reflect on the lives lost that day.
On our way back from the Normandy beaches, we visited the town of Honfleur. If you're going here from the Le Havre cruise port, it's approximately 22 kilometers or 14 miles. The drive typically takes around 30 to 40 minutes by car.
Honfleur is a charming port town at the mouth of the Seine River. It's known for its picturesque harbor, cobbled streets, and colorful buildings. The town's beautiful waterfront, Old Harbor, is lined with 16th to 18th century townhouses, many of which now host cafes, restaurants, and art galleries.
The Lieutenant's House is a historic stone building located at the entrance of Honfleur's Old Harbor. It served as a fortified gate and a key part of the town's medieval defenses. Built during the 14th and 15th centuries, it was once connected to the town's walls and played a defensive role in protecting the harbor from potential invasions.
Honfleur is a perfect destination for strolling through quaint streets, enjoying fresh seafood, or taking in a scenic boat ride. Its proximity to the Le Havre cruise port makes it a popular destination, and in my opinion, a must-see.
Day 3 was our first full sea day as we crossed the Bay of Biscay, making our way from France to our next port in Spain.
The water was incredibly rough, giving us our first real test of our sea legs. Seasickness bags were placed on every stairwell, and we hoped we wouldn't need them. After a few hours of rocking back and forth, we found our rhythm and felt pretty confident that we could handle the challenging seas. It was definitely a relief. The ship appeared to be noticeably quieter on this day. We suspected that some of the passengers were not up to participating in any of the activities and were hunkering down in their cabins. The seasickness bags at the stairwell had to be replenished in the afternoon.
After a rough crossing of the Bay of Biscay, we arrived in Vigo, Spain. Since we didn't dock until 10 a.m, we had the opportunity to enjoy beautiful views of the Vigo River while we ate breakfast.
This is day 4 of our repositioning cruise back to America, and we are here in Vigo, Spain. So we're gonna get off the ship and walk around for a bit.
Vigo's cruise port is incredibly convenient, just a short walk to the city centre. As soon as you step off the ship, you'll notice the modern port area, complete with shops, cafes, and even some unique artwork that adds a, I guess you would say, creative flair to the surroundings.
We made our way up to Casco Vello, Vigo's charming old town, where narrow winding streets are lined with local boutiques, tapas bars, and plenty of history. Our stroll took us up through Constitution Plaza, the vibrant heart of Old Town. This picturesque square is the perfect spot to relax and soak in the atmosphere. Next, we arrived at Porta do Sol Plaza. We found a cozy spot at a nearby restaurant, ordered a cold beer, and enjoyed the sounds of a street musician playing nearby. The sculpture is called El Sereno, the Merman, and is a striking modern sculpture made of stainless steel depicting a fantastical half-man, half-fish figure.
We took the escalator towards Castro Fortress. While the escalator covered part of the way, there was still a bit of climbing to reach the top. But the effort was well worth it. The sweeping views of the city and the Vigo River from the fortress were fabulous.
We made it to the top of the old fort, and we now have a panoramic view of the port, of Vigo Port, including our ship, which is right past that building. We had a fantastic time exploring Vigo, and it's definitely a city we'd love to come back to and spend a few more days. At 5 p.m., we set sail once again, this time towards our next port of call, Lisbon.
It's day 5 of our repositioning cruise, and we've just arrived in Lisbon. We docked at 8 a.m. and we have until 5:30 p.m. to explore the city. One of the best parts about this port, the ship docks close to many of Lisbon's top attractions, so you can simply step off and start exploring. No need for expensive ship excursions. There are hop-on, hop-off buses and tuk-tuks waiting right outside if you prefer a guided tour. We decided to walk since everything was so close.
Just a short walk away from the cruise terminal, you'll find the Ask Me Lisboa Centro Teo. This is a tourist information center that provides helpful resources for visitors exploring the city. It's a beautiful Art Deco building with tiled artwork featuring various Portuguese cities. Inside, you'll find tour operators for river cruises and a cafe where you can sit and wait for your excursion to start.
Our next stop was the iconic Commercial Plaza. This historic square was once the heart of government and maritime trade in Lisbon. It's surrounded by beautiful, bright yellow buildings with elegant arched walkways, a classic example of Lisbon's signature architectural style. Right in the centre, you'll find a bronze statue of King Jose I, who led Portugal during the devastating 1755 earthquake. On the north side of the square is the magnificent Rue Augusta Arch, marking the entrance to the city. It's a symbol of Lisbon's rebirth and resilience after the earthquake, and it offers a perfect photo spot.
We spent several hours just walking the central Lisbon area. There was plenty to see and lots of places to sit and eat. At 6 p.m., we set sail from the port of Lisbon, bidding farewell to our final stop on the European continent. As we glide toward the Atlantic, Lisbon treats us to a spectacular sunset. It's the perfect send-off for our journey home across the ocean.